Okay, so why we are starting this session? The two things. The first part which we will focus is the ML ops. So what does it mean by ML ops? This is machine learning operations. So machine learning operations includes once we build a machine learning model, once we build the ML model, once we build the ML model, now what are we supposed to do with that model? Once we build the ML model, what are we supposed to do with that model? This is the major thing. So I'll tell you one statistics. So in nowadays, there are lot many companies they were using AI, but when they build the model, the 70% of their model, even more than that, but for the safer side, I am saying 70% of their AI models or the ML models are not where they were not going into the production, so those all are failed because of some other issues. So only 30% models are successful. So why what is the reason of that? So to solve this scenario, the new things came, which is called ML ops. So ML ops, what it exactly do, I'll come on that. Before that, let me tell you guys that what we are going to cover in this session apart from that. So some some people didn't know about the machine learning completely, and some people know few things only. So nowadays, this AI has divided into two parts. This is one is called traditional machine learning, and another is called generative AI. So what exactly the difference between these two? That we need to understand. So the difference between these two are this this machine learning models will only tell you those things on which it has trained. Let us suppose I had given a 10,000 data to these models, and if I need an answer, then I have to ask those questions within these data only. It is not going to give you something new whatever this model doesn't had seen in its training. So it is not going to give you anything new. So this was the machine learning models, but they have the capability to memorize or to learn the things and to give you the best result between that. Like suppose if I'll tell this is the one house price, so this is the area of the house, like 100 square feet, this is 200 square feet, 300 square feet, and 400 square feet, and these are the price like 4 lakh, 5 lakh, and 10 lakh, and so on. If you have a data for 100 square feet, 200 square feet, and for the 300 square feet, so you have this data, but I will train a model which can tell you that what will be the price for even 150 square feet, what would be the price for 250 square feet or 230 square feet or 199 square feet or 380 square feet, what would be the price. So that machine learning model can tell you. This is the advantages. But this machine learning model will not tell you out of the box something new. So there the generative AI came in scenario. So what this generative AI model do, it will create a new things for you. Like let us suppose uh, if I have trained just understand, if I'll write in a chat GPT like who won the first cricket world cup, cricket world cup. So there could be the two scenarios. Either the GPT will ask whether you are talking about the men's cricket world cup or the women's cricket world cup, or else it will give both the result to you. And if suppose after a minute or after a 3 4 questions, if you'll ask a GPT again, chat GPT, that who was the captain of winning team. So the GPT will automatically understand, oh, you asked a minute ago or 3 4 questions ago about who won the first cricket World Cup. So it will understand that you are asking in that same context, and then it will give you the answer that, oh, Clive Lyde was the, if suppose it was a men's cricket, so it will tell that Clive Lyde was the captain of the West Indies who won the first World Cup. So it will try to relate the new context always. So that's how the generative AI came in scenario. So lot many things are getting done from the generative AI, like text summarization, how to do the text summarization. If suppose you have a data, a PDF of 100 files, you can reduce it to the two 100 files means 100 pages. You can reduce it to 2 and 3 pages with all the. So if you want to read something in very short, if you have a very less time, and if you want to read the 100 pages PDF, so you can pass it to the your GPT model, and it can easily convert into the 2 pages, and then you can read the 2 pages in short time. At least you will have an 80% of the idea that what exactly this 100 pages things had covered in that. So this is how. So probably I think these things are clear in traditional ML and the generative AI what exactly. Now what I'm going to cover here. So first we will divide this session into two part. First, here ML plus ML ops both I will start. So the first thing I will take the two use cases. One is regression and one is classification. So what exactly, if you guys do not know regression and classification, I will explain it, or I will send you some content where you have to go through that. And I will build a machine learning model on basis of this, ML model on this, that how to perform a regression task and classification. And these both I will train online. I will train online on GCP. When I'm saying GCP, it's a Google Cloud platform on a cloud. I will train it online, and we will do the deployment. Deployment means how we can deploy, and means deployment means how you can use that, because everyone, all the, you cannot expect from the every user that they should know the code. They will go in your code and give the input and take the response from your machine learning model. So we need to give a proper UI API. So by using the deployment, by performing the deployment, we can do it with any clouds like GCP, AWS, or those things. So, and one more thing we will do before going to the GCP. First, we will deploy it into the local, and then we will use a Docker into that. What are the concept of Docker? How we can use a Docker to deploy it, and the same Docker again we will see it how we can utilize in the GCP. So and there are a lot many things are there which you will not understand as of now, that what is model drift, what is data drift. Those all things we will cover here. And one of the major services of Google Cloud Platform is called Vertex-ai. So we will use this Vertex-ai from GCP to deploy that. Nowadays, if you if you really want your chances to be more in machine learning field for the interview, so with only machine learning you will not get that much of calls. You need to be have an knowledge of the ML ops, that how we can deploy it with the clouds, any cloud that would be fine, Azure, GCP, AWS, any cloud, that will fine. So probably as per me, it will take 15 to 18 days. 15 to 18 days it will take the classes, 15 to 18 classes it will take, and this entire part will get covered. This entire all the MLOps part will get covered in 15 to 18 days. Okay. Now, once we'll cover that, here I have a plan which I'm creating a content for the Zen AI. Okay. In that Zen AI, what exactly we will understand how we will deal with the text data, like how, if suppose if I'm writing here from market, let me put it text data. Let me show you something which is very, I have prepared one PPT. So from that, you guys would understand. So if you will see this here, where was that question? One second. Yeah. If you can see here, this question is there. This highlighted part you can see. Here the question is, the bear eats the honey because it watch. So can anyone tell me what does it mean by this it here? What that it is exactly referring? Okay. Anyone else? It can be anything. As in, okay. So this is somehow relatable. Let's suppose I replaced it here with hungry. The bear ate the honey because it was hungry. Means now this it is relatable to this bear. And if I replace this fill in the blanks, that blank with the delicious means now it is referring to the this honey. And if I'll write it hungry, it means it is reference to the beer. So this is how we need to understand the context. So this is how the generative AI would able to understand. That how those are able to understand because of their architecturally which had made it. Okay. So those all things we will see that how it can be performed. If you can see it here, there are multiple this one. If suppose I have this graph, these are just simply coordinates like on x and y axis. So here are the sports item, here some, this is a household like house and all those things. Here vehicles are there, here fruits are there. So if I have here fruit apple, now tell me this apple will go this side or it will go that side. One apple is a logo of a sign or a logo of apple company, and one apple is here fruit. So see, it depends on the sentence. So please buy an apple and an orange. If you will write a sentence like this apple will move to the fruit side. And if you write apple unveiled the new phone, then this apple will move to the this phone side. So this all depends on the contextual. So these all things are easily understood, or the context are able to understand by the generative AI models. So those all we will try to understand that how exactly it is happening. So for that we need to understand the embeddings, how the embeddings are actually getting generated. And then we will try to understand architecture which is some. Okay. And the next we need to understand this RNN and LSTM, how exactly it works and what are their merits and demerits. And then we will have the encoder and decoder architecture. So these are the content we will cover for the generative AI. And then after here we will cover transformer. These all transformer are getting used in the chat gpt, the google bard, which is a palm model which we are using. So this transformer, so how we can, and then we will try to understand how we can use the open ai, how we will use the open ai and hugging face, and then how we can deploy it using github and streamlit, these things. And the last is how to provide the memory to the chat gpt, so that can be used by the lang chain. So these things are much more than sufficient, we will see. So there is something called how to hyper tune the model. Those things also, that makes the more advanced, but we can see if times allow the people would get interested. But these are the things, by that you will understand the working of the generative ai as well. So these are our main agenda. So if whoever not understood the machine learning and doesn't have an idea, so we will cover the regression and the classification one from the beginning, how regression works, what is regression, how classification work, how to create the model, train the model, and then save the model. and then how we will deploy it locally and with Flask and by using Dockers. And once we will deploy that, then I'll show that how we can do that. So for that, what you guys have to do, once we end with the regression and the classification model building, you have to just create your GCP account. So Google, you can just search directly console.cloud.google. Okay, so you need to register with your debit or the credit card. It will debited only 2 rupees. Okay, only 2 rupees, and they will provide a $300 in a free account for 1 year. Okay, 1 year. So these are much more sufficient. You will not get charged. But I would suggest only create the account. Don't do any activity in that. Otherwise, you will get charged. Okay. Accordingly, I will suggest you guys that how to use that. So just create your account so that once we'll started deploying into the GCP with me, you guys can do in your system and you can ask your query if anything would get happen, so that you will learn it in more better way. Okay, that how you can deploy. So this is the how we need to perform all our entire course for the deployment. Okay, now you can ask if anyone has any questions that how these things can be done, how those things can be done. Any questions if they have. So prerequisite for the deployment. So in case of the knowledge, the basics of the machine learning you should have, which I will cover here. Nothing. Deployment is just an using the APIs of the any website like that you are using. There's a nothing. How to store the files, how the folder structure should be. Those things we must be aware. Apart from that, there is a nothing we have to know about. So it's too simple. There's nothing much. Okay. See again, it if it is about the loads and the model, so it all depend on their way, how much threads will provide, how memory we required. So accordingly, we need to put in that. Okay, there will be the configuration for deployment of every model. We can use that. Yes, it depends on how much scale level you want to make your model. Okay, that's what it is. Complete how we can integrate that and how we can deploy that, both complete entire. I'll cover the AutoML as well. AutoML is too much easy. I thought it not to include, but I'll cover. So that's before going to the Vertex-ai, we can cover the AutoML. There is a nothing much in the AutoML. The major part is in the GCP or in any cloud. How you can train the custom model, how you can give your Docker images, custom images, and that you can utilize for your work. AutoML is just you do not get much freedom to use that. Whatever they will do, that model has to decide. Only you have to tell this is my target column and I have the task of regression or the forecasting or the classification. That's it. And you have to start the training job. Everything will done by the GCP. It's not only drag and drop. There you need to understand the few things I'll tell. You need to understand cloud storage. You need to understand the cloud storage bucket. Okay, how to create the bucket, these things, because see, directly also you can upload the data to the GCP from your local system, but that is not a best practice. You have to always create the bucket. Okay, and you have to give the path of your bucket to your AutoML models. Okay, in AutoML models, again you have to decide how stronger or the computationally power you want to give, how much time you want to give to your model for the training, and those things you need to provide. Very less parameters are there in that, and then you have to decide what task it is. So if suppose it is a regression task, so you have to select. Then it will ask what are the target columns, so you have to give the target column name from your data, that this is a target column. And then we will see how we can do the deployment of the AutoML model, and then how we can use the batch prediction and the online prediction for the. So these all things are for the AutoML as well and in the Vertex-ai as well. So these both we will see. But AutoML, anyhow, if I'm showing this, I can show that also. There will be no issues. So we can see the both. Yes, yes, yes. I will take. That's why I included this two topic, regression and classification, and then the both model I will take it from the AutoML, and then I will take it from the custom Vertex-ai pipeline. The both. Hmm. Yeah. Hello. Okay. Okay, so the first thing you just ping me on the WhatsApp. Okay, I'll tell you. But apart from that, once you'll started going through those article or the videos, I will tell you. I will explain these things. Okay, this regression and classification. This both I will explain it from the basics. Why we need that? Why how to build any machine learning model? Just completely from the basics. Okay, so you do not have worry that much. But again, I will suggest you one or two videos. You have to just go through that. Okay, so that will be maximum take your 2 hours. Okay, so just go through that with very patiently, and just do not skip any of the minutes or the second. Just go it one by one, understand each and everything from that video. Okay. Yeah. So this one will probably go till 15 18 days max it will go. And once this one will get completed, so I'm preparing the content for this. Okay, once the content will get completed, then I will start this. Once this one will get over, I will start the Gen AI part. Okay, so if there is a no any questions, we can wrap. I was not supposed to start any topic today, so tomorrow, and the classes will be probably not more than 3 days. Okay, so for the 3 days, so that whoever is getting lagged with the machine learning or those part, those people can recover in the time of the gap. Okay, in our on alternate days. Okay. No, 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 no. In a week, I will take 3 days. Okay, it will be 3 days. Okay, I will fix the days also. If you guys I'll fix the days also, but timing will be always either 10 p.m. or 10:30. Okay, that will be the timing. So I will try probably by 10:30 p.m. every day. But if suppose some might be if I have a walk, so I'll make it at 10 p.m. But otherwise it will be at 10:30 p.m.